Hey there, I'm Darren from Facebook.com, Darren McCosker Realtor, and today what I'm going to do is answer the most common question I get asked while helping people sell and buy houses. That question, what is it I hear you ask? It is simple. What happens next? So right now I'm going to walk you through the process. I am talking about Queensland in Australia, and I'm talking about residential contracts. So if you're buying commercial properties in Nairobi, this may not be of assistance, but let's get going. So you've listed the property, people have come and had a look, and an offer has been made, which everyone agrees is good enough that we're happy to go to contract. Now, in Queensland, you can actually sign the contract, both buyer and seller, outlining all of the terms and conditions that we will move forward with to buy the house. Now, the three most common things that people have to get covered off here is what is the price going to be, of course, and then there are a couple of standard conditions that appear in most contracts. They include a building and pest inspection, allowing you to have a look at the property, make sure that it's not riddled with termites, doesn't have structural damage, the roof is still there, so on and so forth. And then a finance clause, because basically, let's be blunt, the vast majority of houses bought in Queensland or in Australia are purchased with bank finance or some sort of third-party finance supporting it. Now, in the current market, the most common timeframes for those two is 14 days for your building and pest, and importantly that's to note that that gives you 14 days to get the inspection done by a qualified inspector and then act on anything that was found to then move to signing off as unconditional on that clause by the 14th day. As a quick sidebar, I'll jump back. Day 0 is the day that everyone signs the contract, buyer and seller, with all the terms and conditions agreed. The agent will then be the final sign-off as the holder of the money in trust when a deposit gets paid, but I'll return back to that in a moment. Let's go to the second major clause there, the finance clause. That is to the point, and usually these days that's about 21 days for finance, and that is to get your bank to fully approve you for the loan and that property to be what that loan will be secured against. Now that means that you have to have all your paperwork ready to go when you are already looking at property, and then get cracking from there. I would highly advise you speak to your bank and or mortgage broker beforehand, but up to you. So once you've got through building and pest and you've been happy with that, I've got a helicopter flying over, hopefully not too loud. So once you've gone through building and pest, you've signed off that's okay, the bank's come back and told you that everything's fine and issued the letter saying that you are unconditional on finance. Your lawyer will notify the seller's lawyers at that point, and that will then make all of the conditions satisfied in that case, and your contract is now unconditional. That means you are buying the house with the settlement day as predetermined in the terms and conditions. I'll jump back now and say right back at the start, in Queensland you need to make a deposit, generally speaking, quite often 3 days after the contract's been signed, but that deposit is refundable. So for instance, you were buying a house and during building and pest you found out that it was chock riddled with termites and about to fall down, you could walk away from the contract and get your deposit back. Okay. Anyway, back to, so you've got your building and pest done, you're happy with that, you've got your finance done, happy with that. We then move into the unconditional period where you're just getting your monies ready for settlement day, making sure things are done. You do have rights as a buyer to come back for another look at the property. A pre-settlement inspection is the most common one used there. Sometimes people also ask if they can come in before settlement and bring in a tradesperson and measure up or check something out that they're going to do once they own the property, and we all act in fair faith or good faith to get those sort of things done. The pre-settlement inspection is basically to make sure that the house as it was during the building and pest inspection is as it is now. People haven't run off with the carpet, pulled out the dishwasher or whatever, and everything's still there ready for you to move in and use the home as it was presented. On settlement day, it's actually not that exciting for buyer and seller. The lawyers take care of these things, and these days, especially post-corona, we'll see more and more of those done electronically. So what happens then is we'll sit around making sure everything's organised, removalists, all those sort of things for both parties, and then the lawyers, when settlement has been complete, will notify the real estate agent and tell them that they are okay to release the keys. That's when you get the ubiquitous photo at the front with the sold sign as we hand over the keys, and the property then exchanges to the new owner. I trust this has answered it in as simple a format as I can. For those who'd like to know more, feel free to message me through Facebook.com, Darren McCosker Realtor, or check us out on the Insta page, same address, and I look forward to seeing you on the traps.